Playing video games, or gaming, is a leisure activity that has become integrated into the daily routines of a majority of Canadian households. Statistics show that 58% of Canadians play video games, and 61% of Canadian households have at least one video game console. While statistical evidence draws attention to the prevalence of gaming in Canada, less is known about gaming as a practice. Unfortunately, while the majority of Canadians play video games, research suggests that video game communities are often overtly and violently homophobic and transphobic.
I can't play with a random group of people in any first-person shooter without hearing things like, that's really gay, or that person's being gay, that strategy is gay.
I avoid games with strangers, and sometimes even people that I know, and that's because I know how much homophobia there is. I know how much really gendered, violent language there is.
I didn't really know how to engage with everyone else in the game because I felt that it was more 14-year-old boys yelling fag.
Previous researchers have documented how homophobic languages and practices render LGBTQ players as unwanted or invisible in game environments, thus contributing to these players' marginalization within the game.
So when you have transphobia in gaming, I find more often than not it's issues in the design of the game.
Some gay people play as female characters because there's nothing to represent them, so they go for the outsider. In video games, the outsider is usually women, so they choose a female character because it's the only thing that they feel that will represent themselves.
I'm Nathan Thompson, and for my doctoral project, I will be collecting 3 different sets of data. 1, I will be interviewing game developers and those that produce video games in order to ask them questions around the inclusion of LGBTQ content. 2, I will be interviewing LGBTQ gamers in New Brunswick and asking them questions about their own processes and practices of gaming. And 3, I will be doing a discursive analysis on some of the games played by my LGBTQ participants.
It just doesn't exist. Like, there's nothing for us in that way. You have things, beautiful art, related things made by us or by our allies that are very intimate, but you don't see the normalization of it.
There's gay characters and there's gay culture and it is the norm, but in video games it's still stuck in the 90s, kind of, where it's just predominantly straight characters and people don't even think of gay video games.
My hope is that this research will lead to a better understanding of how gaming practices impact the lives of LGBTQ people, and how game developers can produce more inclusive gaming environments.